Ugh.
Listen, I love coconut. Like, I really, really like coconut.
Well, someone's gotta. Hey, that just means it's more coconuts for you, Lethality. We're doing our part.
I'm doing my part to include you in all of the coconut trade.
Yeah,
I'm not eating it myself.
Daly's calling us crazy. Hi, Daly. We love you.
Daily, I'm just a pleb who has a very picky palate. Picky when it comes to flavors, picky when it comes to textures.
There you go. You all think you come to the Tuesday game for the D&D session, but it's really for the spicy opinions.
The unpopular opinions,
Yeah.
one might say.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I suppose if y'all still have any drinks or snacks, we'll kind of ease back into it. But I suppose we'll play D&D again. We have about an hour and a half, so I think we can get a bunch of stuff done. We had left off with. Daly. Okay, Daly can at least sympathize with texture. Okay. Thank you for giving us who don't like coconut on the texture basis at least that.
Yeah, no, the texture is an acquired taste. I will concede.
I don't like anything gritty in my mouth
Mm.
or mushy. I like crunchy
That's,
things.
that's understandable.
All right, so Miss Crumb had politely knocked to alert you of her presence, and Bright had found some nuggets of knowledge. Casimir just kind of schlepped off to go take a nap because, I mean, he has those. He normally has those kind of maybe prominent like elven cheekbones, but my goodness, he just looked a little. He looked a little thinned out there, a little gaunt. So he was off to go like lay down on a couch or something. Mordecai is in. You're looking all swole. You put down the crate, doing your thing. Professor, you had some notes. So here you all are, and so Miss Crumb was going to meet you at this at the investigator's office. If you want to move it elsewhere, you can. But she was meeting you here, and we'll pick up right here. There doesn't appear to be anyone else that is with her. She doesn't have any heavies that are following her around. It is just Miss Crumb.
Yeah, no, Cypher's just gonna make his notes, and he's going to be doing the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia"
What's a very
galaxy brain.
But yeah. Noticed that Jaiden isn't here.
Yes, I very much noticed. I presume that I can step inside.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course.
And Mordecai, she'll step in, and Miss Crumb very much. She's not hiding the fact that she's looking you up and down, and someone seemingly had a good time.
Yeah, it's just none of your concern.
No, your preferred diet is your own, but who you had works well on you. You wear him or her well.
Right. Right.
I must say that is an exceptionally odd turn of phrase.
Quite. Yeah. I'm not sure how comfortable I am with that.
Bright looks nauseated.
Yeah. Moving on subjects. Jaiden isn't here because she got pulled into a portal at the tower. And we figured you should know, as this only happened a little while ago.
Curious.
We have intentions of going after her.
And I am correct if I presume that this Miss Merkuri was also involved?
Yes.
Whatever portal she opened to bring us back from whatever was happening at the docks, it's clear something was in it and pulled her in.
Mine is her tail. I still have that.
Oh. Well. Mordecai, you didn't, perhaps taste her tail, did you?
No. Should I have?
No, I have it. I've had it the entire time.
I didn't know if there was something perhaps you could have gleaned from drinking the blood inside. If you had not done so.
I to be quite
We
fair
could
with
do
you,
that.
Miss Crumb. To be fair with you, Miss Crumb, everything about my condition I am getting used to. I don't know anything about what's going on with me. I just want it gone.
Well, unfortunately I cannot help you with that. But
Seems no one can.
I then can perhaps ask a favor of you all, if you even have the capability. Do you know much about Miss Mercury? I've not been able to have anyone really dig up too much on her.
She's a spellcaster. She came in and helped us get out of a sticky situation because we were all pretty banged up. And was doing experiments on Jaiden's new armor. And attempting to remove a curse, from what I understand. And now they're both trapped in some hellscape.
Well, it's perhaps a natural suspicion. And given the fact that she's apparently from Fallfire, and there's a bit of a communications breach with Fallfire, and those who normally carry the messages to and from, I didn't know if perhaps you had a way of lubricating the gears to find out more on our esteemed professor? Or at least an educated woman.
To be honest, I hadn't actually had much of a chance to have a conversation with her. She
That's actually a question.
kind of appeared out of nowhere.
What was your
I don't
question,
know.
Professor?
Well, this is more to you as out of character.
Okay.
I don't know whether she is a professor or not. Would I be able to make a history check to see if I know that name from my scholarly circles?
Let's go with maybe not a history check. Let's go with an investigation at disadvantage.
Investigation and disadvantage? I'll use my +1 here. That's a
16
17.
or 16. So
Which would be a 17.
oh, and 17. Okay, gotcha. Let me bring that up. Okay. You don't recall anyone? I mean, there's certainly tieflings who are professors out that way. Because Fallfire is, oh hey, we've just been raided by Fiora the Tank Girl. Hashtag Princess of Explosions. And now y'all can't just raid in here with hashtag Princess of Explosions without telling us what was going on. But welcome.
I bet it was Megaman.
Welcome everyone. Please, everyone, give some Maddie Morg's love and hype. Coffee Cat hype works as well. Any sort of welcome. The Brony Chef. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. There we go. Yes, the cat butt welcomes all. In fact, I have the model for the cat butt here in my lap. which is why if I look like I'm an evil genius in a chair, and I'm petting a cat, so of course.
As you are.
Yeah, well. So yeah, Professor, it's you wouldn't know all the faculty from different libraries and such. No one prominent is coming to mind.
Okay.
Fallfire is certainly a place where.
I should know it's where I came from.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's where you're from. It's not as old as. It's not as old as Mesomasca is, in so much that in the founding of Mesotopia as a whole, as Mesomasca was the landing spot from the original people here, but it wasn't too terrible of a straight shot from Mesomasca straight across to Fallfire, and especially given the unique magical properties of Fallfire. It's rather temperate open plains, being a pretty good breadbasket. It was insulated from Shadowhar by the desert, because Aslandia is to the north. So, there are a lot of tieflings. In fact, Fallfire is kind of a greater Mesomasca. We have the original colonists of sorts landing here, and then the others just sailed right across and started setting up here. So then they had the protection of the desert, and then of course there's just this impassable jungle, and who the hell would ever want to live there? Some of the humans did, and then of course there's the gnomes and where they developed and came in too. But yeah, so there's old families in Fallfire, and old families of both humans and old world families of tieflings too. As for the name Merkuri, that's not. I'll give you an auto inclusion where Merkuri is not an old family name. An old family could have the connotation of, at least maybe it's this way in Australia, but here in the U.S. there are families that trace their lineage to the first pilgrims that landed. So they'd be the sons of some family, or the daughters of some family, or whatever, sons of the Mayflower or something more broadly.
Yeah, they're just like, I came from Mayflower.
So there are people obviously in Mesomasca, but also in Fallfire, who are direct descendants of those who came down to begin prospering in this otherwise uninhabited-ish land. Yes. Merkuri is not an old Shadowhar or even like a modernized, like a twist on it. It seems to be its own thing. So it's not falling to you that maybe she's from one of the old families. Yeah. So it feels a little disjointed. Like, it's comfortable enough to make sense, but now that you're thinking about it, you're not really getting the vibe. You're not getting a good connection, or at least trying to be like, oh, maybe no, she doesn't have that accent. Maybe she works for this family or this institution or something, or this research outpost, and just nothing seems to fit.
Would it be so far that the name feels a little off?
Yeah, it's off in so much that it seems like it could be, well, I guess in the last part we used kind of a real world comparison. It would be if,
like a pseudonym?
Maybe not a pseudonym, but it would be trying to spell or pronounce a name that might be more common, but just in a different way. Sort of like how Matthew, you have Matthew with 2 T's, you have Matthew with 1 T, you have Mathau, Matheau, and so it's getting that kind of, so to us, hearing Mathau sounds sort of maybe exotic, a little foreign, and you're like, okay, I can reason that, maybe it's of a French descent or something along those lines, because it seems approximate enough in that regard. So Merkuri would be sort of like that Mathau style, where it seems like it's old school. It's kind of foreign, maybe older sounding. It's enough that it seems to be acceptable. It doesn't stand out like I've literally never heard of those letters or syllables next to each other before. But you know, with the way it was pronounced, with that kind of that hard K, the Merkuri, you know, and there's some in-game stuff that we'll just have to kind of narrate that wasn't presented with the actual accent. So everything seems to be in order, but there's always just like one thing that is just, you know, you're playing Papers, Please, and it's like the first letter's not capital, and you let the person through and you lose the game. Well, you know, like the paperwork seems to be in order, but that first letter to you, Professor, is just, it's not capitalized. And that turned out to be a fake passport, and you let the person through, and so yeah, Miss Merkuri has, you know, she seems to have the pedigree, she seems to have the appearance, the, you know, the personality, she carried herself well, but there's something to you, Professor, especially being a native from Fallfire. Just one. You're in a round room that's 361 degrees.
Something is off.
And you need to reconcile that.
Something. So as I think about it, I kind of look to the rest of the group, including Miss Crumb. Something. Now that you mention that she's from Fallfire, something is very off about that.
In what way?
You see, I'm a Fallfire native. And one of the things with Fallfire is that there's quite a bit of emphasis on lineage. If you belong to one of the old families, one of the original families that settled the area, it's kind of it's not a massive thing, but it's a big-ish thing. And it's concerning because imagine it like this. Imagine that you're standing in a round room and everything seems to be in order, but instead of being 360 degrees, it's 361. There's just that one thing that's off about it. That disconcerts me. Because, of course, whilst I don't know every name of every professor who works in the faculties, I do know quite a bit about that kind of thing in Fallfire, and it's not a name that I've ever heard.
Well, maybe she just had a fake identity. Lots of people do that, and Fallfire, there aren't that many people from Fallfire here, so it would be a good cover story.
I did think maybe a pseudonym or an alias or something like that, but I'm thinking that the obfuscation of this seems more subtle. Concerning.
Are you... I don't know what you're getting at with this, Professor.
I'm getting at that we can't make any guarantees that she was here to be of assistance. We can't guarantee that she was here to actually help us.
You think
And
that's
that
a ruse?
But she did help us. I mean,
Not
except
so
at the
much-
end. And we're
not
not sure
so
that was even her fault.
Not so much of a ruse, but more of our paths crossed and our interests aligned.
But, I
So
mean,
less
that's...
that she meant actually anything malicious, and more that she was here on a very different kind of mission, that if we had caught her further on into it, we might not have been on the best of terms.
That's also
kind of deal.
But that's awfully speculative. I mean,
yeah.
none of us know who she really was or what she was doing. So I mean, we don't know what her motives were. So maybe she would have liked this, and maybe she wouldn't have. But I don't know that helps us solve the problem.
It really doesn't, because it doesn't. It just kind of throws into question a little bit as to if she's going to hurt Jaiden. And that's
Quite frankly, as far as Jaiden is concerned, I'm very sure that Miss Mercury would most likely be the least of her worries. You saw the thing that grabbed her. I would be more worried about that than I would be about Miss Mercury in terms of Jaiden's health.
Yeah.
Trust me.
But
it's just,
they were both taken by the same creature. So
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, maybe it was like she has a pet demon and it just grabbed her and took her home, and also Jaiden too. But that seems like a stretch too.
Well, didn't she say something about I could call for help, but you'd need to be open-minded about it? She said that during our fight with Raphael.
she did.
Yeah.
Well, being
I
open-minded
was assuming
would most
necromancy.
likely.
I don't think she said call for help. She said she could help.
Yeah.
No, she
But-
said she could make.
Call for
Do
help. They
something to
should make
help.
allies.
Well, I mean, maybe she does work with demons. That would be unfortunate because people who work with demons, it doesn't usually turn out well for them. I mean, we know about Bambardalis, and then we know about
Yeah,
you know.
Bambardalis was still being chased last we saw, and
Yeah.
then he went into that same kind of a portal.
He went
And
into
then-
the tower, yes.
and then there was Loki, and what's her name?
Grimhilder.
Grimhilder,
von
yeah.
Olay.
And no, it didn't turn out great for them either. And now we've got this whole Tower of Fire. So I don't know. Maybe
To be fair, though,
something-
Loki had a whole out of game. Loki had a whole different branch of problems.
Yeah, I know.
Shoulder.
yeah, I know about Loki. I know all about Loki, but still, I don't know. I think we should turn in as soon as we're. Is Miss Crumb still here, or are we still
Yeah.
talking to her? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's still
This
here.
is kind of this is amusing session for which she is present.
Yeah. I guess I feel like the sooner we turn in and rest up and recharge ourselves,
Yes.
practice our spells, the sooner we can go after them and solve the mystery instead of just standing around idly wondering about it.
I would note though, Miss Plum, that your information gatherers, we'll say, not being able to gather information on her is not exceptionally surprising, given that something seems off there. So maybe look into names that are similar.
I understand I am relatively new here, but I am hoping to set down roots. Frankly, if given the opportunity to go back north, I would refuse. Roots
You would.
in the
Why
thing,
would you?
it's not hospitable for me to return to the Empire. I would
Why?
much rather stay
You
here.
seem like you're a vampire, yes?
Yes. I was turned when we were sent vampires in coffins to pick up that were left at sea, and they turned the crew. I don't know if that was supposed to happen, but we were supposed to smuggle them back north.
And you don't want to go north, even though you're a creature that they revere.
Correct. I'd prefer to be here. It's growing on me.
Do you oppose? Do you?
insight check.
Yeah, I definitely
I'd
want to do that.
I would also like to. Actually, no, I'm good to not.
I'm gonna use my +1 on it.
Ah.
25.
Not 25. There's a 20 and a 5 that exists on the
right.
same die.
Is that for everyone or just Mordecai?
But, this is Mordecai who's directly interacting with her here.
Okay.
Mordecai. So we still have a Bright and a Casimir. Or Casimir, did you use yours or no?
I use mine.
Okay, so Bright has one left for this session.
Yay.
She is. Her answers are, acceptable. I mean, especially because you're like, yeah, Shadowheart is probably a really sucky place. We don't want him here. Y'all can go back home. She's being dodgy. And whereas before, I mean, she seems to have grown into being a confident person. Whatever skills she's had, she seems to have used her vampiric life to accelerate it. She went from presumably just being a sailor aboard a ship into now being this proprietress. I mean, she was talking about stuff to you, like, tasting the blood from the tail, and she seems to be wholeheartedly leaning into her vampirism. But now all of a sudden she's very dodgy about going back home, and she's giving reasons that, you, especially with Casimir's blood, you would want to press harder. But yeah, she's not wanting to answer that question about why she doesn't want to go back home. Now, could be criminal. It could just be, I don't know, she likes the weather. It could be that she just wants to own a hotel in a foreign land and whatever. Maybe she has a jilted lover, or she is a jilted lover. But she's definitely dancing around that answer, and it's breaking from this kind of forward, dominant vampire that she's become.
She's breaking character, and it's pretty obvious that she's breaking character to Mordecai, at least.
You're being dodgy. You're avoiding the question. Don't think I can't read you.
Yes. Fine, I am. I'm not directly answering your question. I have many reasons to not want to go back. None of them have to concern you, though.
They do when fights break out on the docks and invasion forces are coming. So I need to know if I can trust you. Right now I do not. You're skating on thin ice. And you've given me no real reason to do so. I barely know you.
Channel those words through some kind of a... I'll let you decide. It could be intimidation, could be... I don't know about deception, but...
Persuasion?
It could be... Yeah, persuasion can work very well.
I am a very persuasive voice, so I think I will do that.
Alright. Very well, Mordecai. I believe that given who we are now, I can perhaps explain things, but I would prefer discretion. Talk amongst us as who we are.
A private conversation.
That's what I was getting to, but yes, a private conversation.
If that's what you wish, I need to know if I can trust you.
Then you can listen to my words when I speak them and make that decision for yourself. With the others, I would rather filter it through you first. I want to make sure that I'm understood.
Fine.
And I believe that you have the mind and the heart to translate the things that I have to say, because it's not just the words, but it's the feelings as well.
We have all night. I don't sleep.
Well,
Same.
I do have some notes that I need to collate and go through. Bright, I could use your assistance on this.
Of course. Mordecai, I know you don't sleep, but you still need your rest, especially after a day like today.
Yeah, I do need to rest, and I plan to be restful. I hate that I don't sleep and can't just fast forward this stuff anymore.
Yeah. Well, Professor,
Kind of
I'm happy
annoying.
to assist you.
Thank you. Mordecai, it is understandable that inability to do such things anymore could be a pain. But
You know how awkward it is to wake up next to someone and still be awake when they wake up?
oh, I imagine it would be quite awkward. But keep the silver lining in mind. See if you can't make your extra time productive.
Miss Crumb, I have a strange favor to ask you. Do you happen to have, like, a ream of blank paper?
I'm sure I could have something sent up from the office downstairs.
I would really appreciate that. I have
If-
a lot of writing to do.
I do fully believe that you will help me to recover Investigator Stillwater's. I would be happy to help you help me.
We'll do our best. We really will.
Alright. Shall we? Right? Casimir?
Yeah, of course.
Casimir might actually just be kind of unconscious and drooling on something right
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Passed out.
Professor, I'll let you drag Casimir.
He's
I
not
can't-
actually dying, right?
I can't
No,
lift
just
him.
very, very tired.
Good.
He's
That is a
actually
real shit.
sleeping. He's-
Not
he's
death
not
rattles,
sleeping.
just a weird snore.
That's
And
yes,
also,
right. I can understand that, but that's a real shame because I can't lift him either.
I mean, you could just reverse gravity and float him
Oh,
up the
jeez.
steps.
Don't do that.
No, that would slam him into the roof, and I can't do that again until I get some rest. Actually, hold on. I think I have an idea that I might be able to do. Just let me check out the wording on a spell real quick.
If I weren't completely exhausted, I would have lots of solutions to the Casimir problem.
I
Miss
have
Crumb,
a solution
you-
to the Casimir problem.
Do you happen to have any
Oh, okay.
vitamins with iron supplements? I think Casimir could really use that.
I have a solution to the Casimir problem, and he pulls
I
out his
have-
violin.
That's right, that's right. I got it.
I got it too. I have levitate.
I don't
Yeah,
have
I
it.
also have levitate, but it's free.
Oh.
I
I
don't,
mean, I'm
I
gonna be
don't have
spending
it.
it on my violin. I don't have a spell slot for it.
Mordecai could just
Yeah,
pick
but
him
that's
up.
it. That's Dawn.
He has
It's a Dawn,
18 strength.
Yeah,
then I can
that's
draw a
like
picture
tomorrow.
about it.
Not to mention, Mordecai is currently going to be busy talking with Miss Quam. So I was just gonna drag him out of the room.
Nah.
Just float him up.
Take 5 minutes.
It's like, it's alright, I got it. It's all good.
All right.
Um,
So I excuse myself to go have a private conversation with Miss Crumb.
yep.
Okay.
And I will cast levitate. As it's a invocation spell, so it's free.
Okay.
This one's a free invocation spell. And I float Casimir up and drag him. Float
Okay.
him up about like 5 feet off the ground. Just pull him along like a trolley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Casimir trolley.
There
you go,
what are
Darth.
you
You've got
just
some
gonna
more
float
Doric
Casimir while you
material.
two are working? Like you just gonna?
I prefer to think of him as a Casimir balloon.
Yeah.
Casimir balloon.
Kind of float him into a bed or something.
Yeah, float it. Yeah, just set him over a bed and then I'll end the spell. And
You know,
drop
like
him into the-
in a parade where they have the big balloons. It's like that.
Yeah. Balloonamir.
Balloon.
Balloonamir.
Oh, jeez. Well, all right, then you levitate Casimir to someplace, or just keep levitating him. I don't know. It's probably very comfortable. It's like the ultimate like form conforming bed.
It's also only concentration up to 10 minutes.
And yeah, you can recast it.
I mean, I can. It is free. I can do that.
So aside from Casimir, every once in a while apparently having a really good dream that kind of, oh, all right, guess he's not in danger of dying, but he needs that blood elsewhere. We cut over to Mordecai and Miss Crumb, who are, you go into Miss Crumb's room, and while she is the proprietress of the Wild Cherry, in fact, let's go. Actually, let's make it more... no. I'll bring it back here and modify the description. You go to a room that is furnished and looks a lot like a sailing ship. Despite her being able to have the best, fanciest stuff, she certainly has one of those speaking tubes and nicer things. But the inside, despite being, it is a port city, but despite being landlocked, without even a room that overlooks the water, she's decided to keep a nautical theme, and a very Shadowhar nautical theme in this room. A lot of things, very strong black and red motif. And it's... she's acquired paintings that have more the motifs of Mesomascan painters of the sea and the hills and everything. But there is just this... the sea seems to be in her heart. At least with the decor of what she's claiming to be her room. It is neat and tidy. It's not disheveled. And I don't know if there's any super details you're looking for, let me know, but that is the general appearance of the room that she takes you to.
It looks like a mix of Shadowhar decor and Mesomascan decor.
The paintings are of the sea primarily, but they would have like a Mesomascan style to the painting. But a lot of the decor is most likely imported, as it is very heavily Shadowhari in design, in coloration, and I mean presumably she's not able to import, Shadowhar paintings of the sea, so she just got local artists to paint pictures of the sea for her.
For someone who doesn't want to go home, you have a lot of Shadowhar decor.
Yes, well, it's a creature comfort, I suppose. Something that makes me remember who I was before... Points to her teeth. It's a real struggle. Especially because there's so many others that count on me to provide for them, to guide them. When I was aboard the Wild Cherry, I had dreams, but I never had the recognition. My wank never held sway over others. Not in a meaningful way. Here, despite me not being human anymore, I'm someone. I've built this. I've discovered the drawbacks as well, but the benefits of being what we are, Mordecai. I can be a someone here. I can not just be a sailor. I can be a proprietress. I can be an entrepreneur. Hard R. I'm getting used to the wingo here. And I guess it's also a matter of comfort. And even though you two are presumably the only ones in here, and, I mean, your super senses aren't necessarily tingling otherwise, Mordecai. She almost has this instinctive, kind of looks around just to... and leans in. Plus, if the rumors that we heard as sailors, as citizens are true, I don't think that Shadowhar would be a very good place to return to after much longer. There's a lot of people saying that things are going to get real bad over the next maybe 10, 20 years. I don't know if it's in Shadowhar. I don't know if you've heard anything, but it's something that we've always been told not to talk about, not to spread rumors. And perhaps if it was true, then you would have experienced it here as well. But with every winter seems to be getting a little longer, a little colder. It seems to be causing more problems, especially where we live. It's something that a lot of people in my class talk about. And it seems to be something that no one really has an explanation for, let alone a solution. That's why
Is
so
that
many...
why the Shadowheart are migrating south?
That's what we all think. We're told other things by nobles, others in charge. The Emperor himself, despite his young age, he does carry the wine of expansion, of reintegration with our ancestors. It almost seems to be taboo to discuss the fact that the winters are becoming more deadly, are becoming longer, and becoming fiercer. This far south, maybe you've not experienced it, and I believe that's the hope of the commandos, of the nobles and the merchants, who can set up further south, and perhaps even reclaim the land that some of them believe is theirs. I just want my peace. With your spelling both the P-E-A-C-E and the P-I-E-C-E.
You just want to be left alone.
I may be a monster, but I'm not a monster. I've already given my life for my country, and I may not be from Mesomaska, but I believe I'm integrating. I've given plenty of people opportunity. I've taken in those like us, and I've made it so that they haven't been wildly hunting others in the streets, to try and control the hunger, to try and give them a life worth living, such as it is.
This condition spreads.
It
Like a
can with every
disease.
bite.
And that's not worrisome.
It absolutely is. I don't know how to contain it. For my profession, I certainly did other things before I became a sailor. But I'm not someone who can plan for this kind of a thing. I can manage others in a contained environment as a sailor. Absolutely, that was my training. I wanted to be an officer. I had all the qualifications except being an officer. I would love a cure. At the same time, maybe not. At least not for me. But others like you, I've heard it before. They didn't ask to be a vampire.
No one does.
At the same time, our people respect and laud who we are. It's just another sign that many read as a reclamation, a reunion with who we as Shadowheart were before the migration north.
The Shadowheart started as a migration. I was always told that the Mesomascan population descended from somewhere up north. They were even vague about that. But I assume Shadowheart, who wanted to escape tyranny, persecution.
I'm not too familiar. I didn't go to school for that specific study. But I know that we weren't from the north, which is why we had to survive and integrate the natives, the dwarves of the mountains, up north, so that we forged an empire ruled by us, who had the experience before. I can't tell you exactly where we were from, as I'm sure there's people who would argue that all night, and those are people who do have to sweep. But it would seem that we had come from elsewhere. We had taken over. The dwarves had become folded into the empire, though they were given their own space to be under the mountain. They don't seem to be in a rush to escape the winter. probably be glad to see us weave.
But swept into a corner and forgotten.
They're not forgotten. They make many things. Wondrous things. We wouldn't be the empire we were without their forges and their works.
But did they ask to be integrated into a Shadowheart empire?
I suppose that depends on where you go in the empire to ask. Like with anything, people have different opinions and different takes on history. Some say that we brought them with us, others that they lived here before. Some say it was a peaceable integration, others that it was forceful, or that it was a duress under siege.
But history is written by those who are left.
The empire has been around a long time and has never lost.
Just a curious thought. Seems oddly appropriate to question, since the same thing is happening to Mesomasca. But I, personally, as a Mesomascan, don't welcome the Shadowheart. Others might. I don't.
The events at the harbor seem to drive home that point.
And the rampant and broad acceptance of Shadowheart culture as this city's new culture seems, at the very least, hasty. If not weird. I don't like how much black and lack of color is starting to take over this city. When you see black all the time, it's hard to look at the world. And he looks down at his own shirt, which is very black, and his tones have turned very dark lately in his dress. I think I'm going to go back to my old wardrobe. Because, frankly, I'm a very colorful individual. And I've been mourning too long. So, all that being said, you don't want to go back because you think that the winters are going to be too harsh.
I don't know what that would do to me in this current state, but I'd much rather be where it can be warmer longer. As well as be a self-made woman.
The Shadowheart probably need to learn an important lesson, though. Running away from your problem doesn't solve it. Just keeps you running. I know that better than anyone.
I wish you could have a conversation with the Emperor then.
Well, I don't think he'd listen to me.
Probably not.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting at.
As long as you need it, Mordecai, and the others, and especially if you're going to help recover Investigator Stillwaters, who showed me kindness when she very well might have not. You have use of the Wild Cherry as a haven of sorts. I can provide you reasonable accommodation, food, boarding, perhaps some information as I can come across it. Roots are hard to put down, especially as there seems to be a great amount of unrest among the underbelly of the society here in Mesotopia, not just Mesomaska. There's something weird going on, especially with the Tumbled Wench network.
There's a lot of weird things. Some of which supernatural, some of it mundane.
All things with time, Mordecai. You've heard that expression before, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on all their coins.
The accommodations are appreciated. We'll try to get Jaiden back. I don't want to lose another person. Not to this. Not to whatever's going on. I don't... Enough people have died. And... I would actually like to roll roll an insight check just to kind of read the situation, have her see if she's being forthcoming and truthful.
Okay, go ahead. Ooh, look at that 21.
Is she being less dodgy now?
She's... Yeah, she has this, not relaxed, but certainly her tone has gone from being tense to... maybe she's more relaxed, but she's not relieved. It seems like she really needed to just talk to someone about this. But that she doesn't have anyone she can confide in, or trust, or both, or even whatever other things. She does appear to be, like, she has a little bit of an upset tone in her voice, but not like you wrung her for information and she's begrudging you, but just sort of saying it out loud makes it real, and she doesn't want it to be real. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But also her tension has bled out of her words, so she's more, I don't know, like her body posture's kind of loosened, like she sat back some, and she has a contemplative look, but it's not worried, it's just she's trying to figure things out herself. And as you're examining her too, I need you to please be very careful with the things that I'm telling you, as true as they may or may not be. You can go and start rumors. For all I know, maybe some of this stuff has been talked about before by other sailors. But if you don't have proof, if you don't have force to back it up, you'll be painted as a woony. You'll be painted as a malcontent. Also, hello, Obi-Bob Kenobi. Thank you for the raid. Thank you all for coming over.
To be fair, quite fair, Miss Crumb. I used to be a circus performer. I'm very much used to being looked at as odd, crazy, a rumor monger. It's kind of what I do.
Be careful with the information, is all I ask. Else you will find yourself piled upon by others, or relegated to the trash bin of history.
I don't plan on being the trash bin. Just one more question. Do you want the Shadowheart here? Do you consider yourself Shadowheart still?
She's taking her time, opens her mouth to say something, closes it.
Be honest.
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
I wish I could tell you right now. Maybe if I could sweep on it. My heart is here. And also, Upsoli Noah, thank you also for the raid and for coming over, and for the host. I wish I could tell you I would be dishonest if I responded too quickly. My heart is still in my homeland, even though I can't say I prefer with what's happening. All I can tell you right now, Shadowheart or Mesomaskin, Mesotopian, Broadway. Can I start by at least trying to be a friend to you and to the others? As people who took me in and gave me shelter, who gave me a second chance at, well, life.
I think we can start there. And as you said, you've been trying to keep those of us who have our affliction from going out and rampaging. So maybe that's your form of philanthropy.
I have to prove myself to someone somewhere about being something. Might as well be what I feel I can do the best. And we'll sort things out one judgment call at a time. By the way, Mordecai. How did he taste?
Who? You, the one that I drank from?
Yeah. You drank from Casimir, right?
Yeah. Don't get any ideas. He's kind of had a lot. I kind of went a little ham.
No, he's yours if you want him, but I'm just hoping maybe you'd gossip a little bit. I had my eye on him since he started hanging around. I figured he would be for a good boost. Just, it was just us here. Figured maybe you could share a little bit.
That's so weird.
Welcome to the new world. Well, that's what we were calling it, but this has a different connotation.
Yeah. I guess desert heat.
Desert heat. Yes, I
He's a
can
desert elf.
conceptualize desert heat in my mind. It seems that he would be providing you just that.
Yeah. It's
Quite a belly warmer.
It's really weird that that's something I can conceptualize at this point. Does it get... I mean, I don't know. I don't know which of us has actually been this way the longest.
Probably close to tell. But I'll tell you this. As a leader, others will look at you for decisions, and if not told what to do or what to think, they'll see how you act and how you react. And if you run away, if you lack confidence, if you show that you are afraid of something, they will too. And so while, yes, it has been very odd getting to know my new body, I've had to play confident I've had to explore things that I never thought I would have to before. Because I have to make it normal for the others, so that they don't react poorly or wash out as harshly. Many times it's the things that you don't say or don't do that can also impact others. And if I wanted to be an officer, that was something that I would always practice. Ways that I would criticize those who are above me upon the ship. In this way, I guess I get to practice what I hope to one day also preach.
I suppose that's the burden of being in the spotlight.
The hotel was named after the ship I served upon. I suppose in its final destruction and comeuppance, I am the captain. And she grins, and you just see, you know, her complimentary fangs as well.
Never really pictured myself as a leader.
If you ever get the chance, and if you want to try, I might be able to find you a nice dragonborn to drink from. Whew. That'll cause an interesting reaction. If your body's similar to mine.
I may have to give that a try at some point. That's weird. Why is it weird that why am I actually saying something like that? That's weird for that to come out of my mouth.
Ho, 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 ho. Why don't you get back with the others before people start talking and thinking that you were doing unsavory things with me?
Let them think. I don't give
Oh?
a shit. I mean, I'm not actually interested in you, Miss Crumb.
Oh.
To be fair, my wife died a little while ago, so...
Oh, well. I feel awkward. Do you like
Yeah.
crossword puzzles?
I think I'm just gonna go play some music. How about that?
Yeah, that works. Music is good, too. Music, you hear music with your ears. I need to stop talking now.
Alright. Have a good night.
Yeah, you also, nighttime, make it good.
She's acting real weird. Can I
Yeah,
insight
she's
check
kind of...
her?
you don't need to roll insight. She's, like, she tried to actually, you know... She tried to put the move out and realized that she hit a brick wall. And is really just trying to play off of this and not doing too well. For as much as she's been in command, this is actually a time when you got her... Like, she was disarmed from her reactionary personality, and then you got her into this very not tense moment and mood, this time of connection with another person, or at least in this case another vampiric person, and she actually got to talk to you about stuff that she's probably never talked to with anyone, which would most likely include Investigator Stillwaters. And so she was just kind of like, well, I don't know, both vampires. You put the signal out there, like, yeah, let them talk, so, well, maybe.
Yeah. She's having shot down syndrome.
Yeah, she's kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, she's like, oh, yeah, music, the ears, you hear it with your ear, oh, of course. She's trying to recover herself and appear, you know,
I'm gonna go do that.
yeah, go make beautiful music, Mordecai. It's good with you. Talking, mouth, words.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And I walk out of the room.
Oh, good to mouth with you. No, I'm, you good to talk. You can
He snickers.
be inside my room. You can be inside my womb anytime that hard R. You could be inside my room anytime that you want.
You're digging a hole, Miss Crumb. Just
I'm
stop
already
talking.
dead. It's a grave. I understand. Just please weave.
He walks out of the room.
Thank you. And you just hear like a flop on a bed and someone manually deeply sighing. Like, ugh. She didn't have to breathe. That was purposeful. Or at least reflexive.
Oh,
Just-
wow!
Just the giggles. He's giggling. He goes back to the room with the others.
All right, you walk into the room. Casimir is having a happy dream floating 5 feet above the floor, and Bright and Professor are, I guess, poring over a pile of papers. Beautiful handwriting on the paper, but plenty of ink and paper there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was actually something that the professor needed help with, or if we were just an excuse to leave.
It was just an excuse to leave.
Oh, sure. All right, then, I don't know, you two are doing whatever. And Casimir was set down on a couch or something then? Or?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm probably already in bed. I
Oh,
have
alright.
a lot of spells to practice in the morning, and I'm pretty tired and I just want to rest up. But I would have used alarm to set the alarm for anyone except the 4 of us. And,
Okay.
and Peggy Sue, including Miss Crumb, Jaiden, just in case, anybody like that. So,
Do you
You know,
need
it's gonna-
do you need
it'll
like
go
a
off for
hair
any-
of theirs or something, or do you just
Nope.
say the name?
I just exclude whoever I want to exclude. And the
Okay.
only people that are excluded are me, Cypher, Mordecai, Casimir, and Peggy Sue. Everybody else sets off the alarm.
Okay. All right. So alarm goes up. Then I didn't catch on the professor was trying to be discreet about things. So I guess unless Professor you are staying up, but I don't know. You seem to be kind of
No, I am an older man and I need my sleep.
all right.
Mordecai goes to what little offshoot of a room or to couch or something. Goes into his things and
Mhm.
starts to pull out his old, very colorful, very gaudy clothing. Gets it
Yeah.
prepared for tomorrow and goes to sleep. Well, as much as he can sleep.
Well,
He tries not to think about things for the next 8 hours.
you go into standby mode. Yeah. I don't know. We'll say that maybe this is a suite on the higher floor. You probably have like a bay window that sticks out some. I think that's how you were able to like look down and see bright seeming and why it changed everyone's like hair colors and dresses and everything. So if there's like a bay window, there's kind of like that built-in bench that kind of goes that is in that little stick out area. So you can just sort of pop up on that bench and either like lean back, or if you just want to get into a sitting pose or like a meditative kind of cross-legged pose or something, you can do that. And at least that way you can pull the drapes if you want, or if you still want to look out, then you're there in the window.
He's going to spend a little bit of time doing a little maintenance on his violin. Because it's been a little while.
Okay.
But otherwise, he's inactive. He's not really doing anything else.
All right. Over the course of the evening, things that might move your heart in different directions. It sounds like to your keen ears, someone might have had their purse, help, thief, and maybe your first thought is, boy, Jaiden would have just snapped up out of bed and tried to help or something. It sounds like that there's a couple that are that were getting a little frisky in one of the back alleys. Not that the bars are closed. They're maybe they didn't make it too far before they decided to spend some personal time together.
At least we get to a room.
There's cats yowling. There's I don't know, probably someone grumbling at a really early hour that's before dawn, but they're putting out the street lamps or doing some sweeping. So it's kind of nighttime city sounds that occur. It's a cross section of humanoidity. A nighttime culture in a big city. And then the first rays of light. It is summer, so I mean we're talking like 5:30 in the morning ish. Still early, but streets are changing color, getting more illuminated. The others are probably still sleeping, but it is light out. Because it is also super early, and you all went to bed super late.
I let them sleep as long as they need sleep, and don't bother anybody. It's when they start stirring that I actually would get up and get dressed and things like that. When I hear them stirring around.
Then, at some point in time, each of you wake up at whatever hour you wake up. Some of you might be early risers. Some of you might just need to, like, I don't know if Casimir just needs to actually spend, like, a day in bed sleeping everything off. And
We wanted to get up as early as possible, though, with still getting enough rest to be able to get to our task of finding Jaiden.
Yeah, if Casimir is gonna need like a day to recover, then I'm definitely gonna prepare different spells as opposed to if we're gonna go try and open that portal right away.
you could shake him awake and pour some coffee down his throat, maybe.
I mean,
Yeah, make coffee and breakfast.
yeah, be sure to put iron in the coffee.
Oh yeah, cast iron skillet on everything. Everything is
okay.
getting cooked in a cast iron skillet.
Okay.
Scramble with an extra scrapey metal spatula, too. Maybe a rusty one, so flecks of it at least break off into the eggs. And
Flavor.
yeah, there we go. Okay, so you order some wake-up juice and a nice hearty breakfast for... A nice country green shield breakfast for Casimir here.
For everybody in the room.
Well...
I mean, I had breakfast yesterday.
Oh, but Bright can't enjoy. I think. Well, wait, Bright. I forget. Were you full vegan, or are you just no lacto ovo, or what are you? Are you
No meat.
pescatarian?
Nothing that requires animals to be killed, especially if the animals are cute. But eggs are okay.
Oh, okay.
Milk is okay. That sort of thing is okay.
Dairy's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So then
So
just
Vegetarian.
As long as they weren't fertilized eggs.
okay.
But
So
chicken eggs are fine because chickens,
Just
they lay
vegetarian.
they lay plain eggs. It's okay.
so scrambled eggs, hold the balut, and the sausage. Got it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Extra
And like scrambled vegetables. It's fine. They're making omelets.
Yeah.
So it's just a saute. All right. Well, then I guess Casimir, if you need iron, then you're just getting like all the country sausage and like the gravy and like you're getting the rib sticking food.
Mm-hmm.
You
Getting
got to
all
put
the
some
meats.
meat on your bones.
Meat on your bones.
It's okay.
Suddenly Mordecai's like an Italian grandmother to you or something here. Hey, put us some meat on your bones.
He might
Put
as
us some
well
blood
be.
in your veins.
Yeah, put us some blood on your veins.
He'd be a pretty good actor. He could probably pull it off.
All right. Well, between the beverages that are made available to you, if you even want some good old fashioned Shadowheart cooking, you can get some protein. You can get some other.
Mordecai makes Mesomascan food.
Ooh. Well, if you want to go to the kitchen, then
That's what he's doing. That's what I said I was doing.
all right. All right.
Kitchen staff doesn't know how to cook certain Mesomascan food.
Make a. Are you proficient with cook's tools at all?
No.
Tell you what, we can do this. Let's have a little fun and leave something to chance here. Good, bad, or indifferent. Y'all are getting breakfast anyway. Cooking utensils with charisma. It's like flair. It's like flair bartending. Where you're juggling the bottles and pouring drinks. In this case,
Hey.
you're doing fancy. You're doing fancy. Kind of like the Japanese style omelet making, or kind of like that Turkish ice cream
Hibachi
server.
bar.
Yeah, or yeah, like at a hibachi. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a. If you're just gonna be making like sautéed whatever scrambled eggs, it won't be too difficult to mess up. But let's. As it's kind of an off. Actually, let's do this. Let's have you roll a dex-based performance. I don't know if there's a statistical difference between charisma and dex for you, because you might be loaded in both, but make a dex-based performance to see if you can put on a little show in the kitchen while making these common recipes.
So, I can roll a dexterity check at a +10
Okay.
because I am expertise in performance.
Oh.
So, just add a +10 to this dexterity check.
Sure. Ooh.
29.
Man. All right, so Mordecai, you... so you come down. They are adamant, though. You do have to wear like a white coat if you're going to do this. Even though Miss Crumb said that you were allowed to come into the kitchen. I will say this though, you did an excellent job at preparing. You know,
Actually,
omelets.
that would just be a +6. Sorry, because it already comes with Jack of all trades on a regular dexterity check.
All right, hey, 25 is still pretty good. So you come down, you're preparing an omelet, sauteed, whatever. You're preparing fresh, raw bananas for Bright, which is really just sort of, I don't know, fancily plucking one off a bunch and putting it on a plate. Maybe give her a smiley face. Yeah, no, gnomes
I
and
toasted
Bright.
him like a little bit.
But I will say this, over the course of your performance to cook these foods, by the time that you are finished with all of the ingredients and the sauces, maybe you go ham. You're a little experimental. You're throwing in some hot sauce and something, or whatever. It's when you are done, your white coat has a beautiful just splatter of colors, maybe a couple textures depending on what you're preparing. But I don't know, if you were looking for a bright new day, you started off with a blank canvas and you have just this mishmash of streaks and of colors, of reds and yellows and greens and everything. So you're beautiful. And you presumably made some pretty good food. In fact, the kitchen staff is even like, yeah. Come up and say, here, congratulate him. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't just rub on that
And
box. Come on.
And so I just give that to everybody, and
Chef Mordecai, Chef Silverleaf presents some wonderful food. Casimir, I mean, you're probably groggy still, and yeah, you're gonna want to see someone about. I mean, you can only take aspirin to help a compound fracture. I mean, when your radius and ulna look like a jigsaw puzzle, you know, you're gonna need a little bit more than that. But yeah, I mean, at some point you can drag yourself off, but we'll say that this is more of a brunch hour by the time that Casimir's really starting to get cohesive and you can feed him. So it's not first thing in the morning, but also mechanically for a full rest, first thing in the morning wouldn't have been good for you anyway, because by the time y'all were starting to settle down, like we're probably an hour and a half or so from the first rays of dawn, because it is high summer. It's more late summer, but you know, whatever. It's still early enough. So, you know, you have brunch, you eat. If there's casual things like study spells or, you know, things that can be a part of your 8 hours, or just low activity for short rest stuff, long rest stuff, that's fine. Yeah, so it'll probably be afternoon by the time that, I mean, Casimir's still hurting, but can see someone, but you're up. You've all studied things. Portents have been delivered through dreams. Any other stuff that recycles on a long rest for you all. You feel, I don't know, arcanely rejuvenated in some fashion. Mordecai, you are, you know, you still have that strength, but maybe you don't feel like super topped off. Like you don't have this like this bulging pressure inside you. Like you just feel like I'm still big. I still got this confidence. Like I still have this kind of alpha presence, but you're not like super full. You don't feel like I'm gonna rip all my shirts kind of a thing. So yeah, you're at a normal level, but you're not feeling bestial or especially vampiric, unless you want to be. Maybe you gotta assert dominance sometimes. I don't know. Maybe just go up and bite the professor. I'm not telling you what to do, but you probably should.
no,
Oh, all right.
absolutely not. I'm trying to mitigate that as much as possible. Not spread this curse.
Casimir, you had some weird dreams. Dreams about dying. Dreams about also being a hunter, which probably aren't really that different from some other dreams, but it was probably a lot more visceral. Like, you weren't hunting with a bow and arrow or your axe. Like, you were the one hunting. Like, you were the one that was, like, tearing the throat open. You were the one that was, you know,
Beast.
yeah. So this is, you know, those were probably good dreams for you, but they were definitely in some weird way in whatever else that you wanted to dream about. I'll you know, I won't tell you what Casimir dreamed about, but you had a mixed bag for a night where, you know, you had these weird, like, kind of like flashes, like hot flashes, and these weird takes on things. You just feel kind of like you're drunk, but you're or not drunk, but like have a hangover, but you didn't drink, as far as you know. But hey, the food's really good. In fact, that food, there's a spicy meatball. There's something about this food that is just really resonating with your palate. And I mean, Mordecai just, man, he just knows how to cook, I guess. I mean, his sausage is just on par. You just can't stop just shoveling it in. So yeah, it's you're awake. Congrats. The day is now past noon. You can go find a cleric. What would the rest of you like to do? Oh, that's an important question. in chat. Oh, it's like one of those Japanese omelets where they use the ketchup. You know, it's like the whatever the maid omelets or I forget what they're called. Anyway.
Omid ice.
Oh, is that what they are? Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Just written in ketchup, like, sorry I exsanguinated you, or something like that.
Fluff is trying to talk.
Oh.
He's real quiet right now because his internet died. Yep. As soon as we're ready to go, we all make it to the portal.
Okay. Well, to the portal? The portal...
Where the portal was.
Okay, I was going to say, the portal collapsed. There was no portal there. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was saying... Bright was saying that we're wanting to get to doing that as soon as possible. Like, start investigating, start doing what we can to pry it back open so we can go.
Okay. Then...
Quick as we can, yeah.
What I will do... let's do this. Casimir, unless you want to go to the plaza in order to kind of look around for some portal remnants or to talk about resonance or arcana, etc., maybe you can meet up with them if you go off to the clerics and see if they can tend to your arm. And if you all want to go and assist Bright, or if one of you, I don't know, Mordecai, if you want to go back with Casimir and the professor and Bright can investigate the scene for resonance or for portal clues or something.
I think Mordecai's intent would be to investigate with Bright.
Okay.
Because I feel like that would be where I'd be the most helpful.
I have one thing to do before we go.
Hmm.
That is, I want to use fabricate. Assuming that the papers are out.
Did the paper... Bright got the paper, right? That she needed?
Yeah, stack of paper.
Okay, so I want to use fabricate to make a copy of the book that I built for
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think Amnesis exists in 5th edition yet, unless it was in a splat book somewhere, so...
Which spell?
Amnesis. It's a book copying spell, at least from older editions.
But you can use
And,
fabricate to do that.
Yeah, calligraphy. Yeah, so it's that's fine. You get a stack of paper. I think we can use fabricate as a because it's also a higher level spell. you have calligrapher's tools. This is kind of your thing. You're a wizard. You work with books. So sure, if you want to spend fabricate here, you can fabricate the history book into the ream of papers.
Okay, that's what I wanted. So I want to drop off the original history book back in my living room. But there we go. And then after besides that, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Same with Mordecai.
No, sorry for being so quiet about it.
Oh,
Oh,
We-
look at that. The internet's back. I guess I can do something about it.
Yeah. Bright's experiencing like she's going tiny again, like the tiny Bright picture that is rolls in the break, and then she kind of goes back to normal size sometimes too. Okay, yeah, that's okay. So yeah, you fabricate the book, you replace it, and you
And
can
then
go to the
Casimir-
plaza then.
yeah. Casimir's getting his arm fixed, and then Mordecai and Bright definitely are going to the plaza to investigate,
Okay.
cipher what is.
Casimir, as you are holding onto you're holding onto the scorpion tail. Is that something you want to continue to hold on to, or do you want to give that to those who are going to the scene of the portal, the scene of the crime?
I'm gonna hold on to.
Noted. That being said, then, Professor, are you taking the two tail with you?
Yeah. Wait, did you still have that scorpion tail? Because if so, that might actually come in handy.
Yeah, I picked up the scarf. Yeah.
Cool. Because that was for that suit of armor was designed for a tiefling. So if we stick Miss Mercury's tail in the scorpion tail, we might be able to use it as some kind of super wacky macabre key.
Casimir, are you giving up the scorpion tail for this experiment?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The professor's like, spouting this off, and Casimir's like, nah, just walks off, kind of holding his arm.
I don't think that will work. Goodbye.
I think you should leave that up to the Arcanist to decide. You're not an
I'm going
Arcanist,
to
are
get
you?
my arm fixed. Talk to me later.
If we get sucked into the portal and you're not there,
Well, then I probably need this item to find.
maybe. Eh.
I mean, Mordecai, you could always trade. I mean, if you're willing to give Casimir a piece of tail, she might give you the scorpion piece.
No.
Casimir, I'm
No.
trying. I'm in your corner, brother, but
No! You
I
know,
missed something there.
it's a play on. It's a play on a ship
I-
that they have.
they like you're excluded
They?
from this. Excuse
Yes, I
you.
am. I don't ship it.
Well, you should.
Well, we're shipping that you are shipping it, so now you are.
Mordecai
That's
is
reality.
for life, yo.
All right, so Casimir, you gotta go and get
Mordecai's
regenerated.
joining incels.
And by the way, it's absolutely whether or not lethality, you not getting the joke, which is fine because it was kind of a bad pun, or if or this is the professor, that's absolutely fine. Where you're trying to but this is the arcane, perfectly sound arcana logic. Even Bright's like, oh yeah, that seems to work.
Yeah,
And then
it's
Casimir's just like,
perfectly
no,
sound-
don't, it's dumb, and and then this whole other thing, and you're just like, but it was a perfect explanation. Bright's like, yeah, it was a great explanation, and. Independent third-party verification from Bright and Casimir just shut you down.
Jeez, Casimir, why do you gotta stonewall me like that, bro?
Oh. So yes.
How's your shield arm doing?
Are you saying that as you're casting like a bolt on her or something? That's Zinger. Or is that him? Yeah. All right. So yeah.
I will tell you, my axe arm's doing just fine.
Oh.
Yeah, but my shield arm's also doing fine.
Oh yeah, you use a shield too. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. All right, so yeah,
That's
Casimir,
fine.
we're gonna have you we're gonna have you limp off, and I'm gonna have to look up what kind of a cost is associated with some bone regeneration here, because it's not as easy as going to the Hogwarts Infirmatory to have some like bone juice or whatever they drink.
I mean, you could just make it that
Somebody cast
like
regenerate? Or
well, no,
Well,
not
yeah, but
necessarily
that's
regenerate.
you
Not
know
necessarily regenerate. Like what you could do is you could basically just make it that they're casting cure wounds but a higher level to account for the more extensive damage, and that you pay for the higher level spell slot to heal the more extensive damage.
Well, I will. What I'll do is I'll consider what that might be because
Casimir needs money, then Casimir needs money.
Because if it's a matter of money or a favor, but I don't want it to be its whole own like other mini arc to get your arm healed. As interesting as that could be, we don't need a filler arc in this regard. So I'll consider that. But what we can do is Casimir will be gone for a while. We can consider be tinkering around at the portal site. In the meantime, although I don't know, maybe Casimir, depending on what he does, might be able to contribute directly or indirectly somehow still, just even the shield arm regenerated or not.
Well, considering we are doing that because Casimir has to go get healed anyway, and he'll be heading to the ossuary to do that.
Yes,
I might actually go with him because I had some questions for the priests regarding that non-standard Ouija symbol.
Okay.
Because I did see it, because I never went. I did go down, but I saw it when it was fully gone. On account of I floated Raphael up into the air, and he was lying on his back on the top of the floor, and I was holding onto the thing at the bottom. So I just look up and see the symbol right there on his chest. So
right.
that's
well,
the thing that
so
good question for.
Casimir is now the one that's not really limping, but is kind of storming off, injured, clutching a broken body part, and is now being pursued by the professor in some weird kind of replay from yesterday between Mordecai and Casimir, and then and now it's been a while since I think we had a really good Bright and Mordecai time together. So that'll leave you two to investigate, to speculate, experimentate. Or
talk.
Or just talk.
Talk.
Just talk. Communicate.
It's been ages. Those guys have communicated.
This party can't survive without communication. It's about time that you got together and you had a powwow, and
Yeah.
Instead of asking what spells do you have, ask Bright how she is. All right, so this is what I think we'll do here, because we've hit the 3 a.m. mark. This is, I think, a good point that we can leave off here. If there's some side stuff, either inside RP or if there's something along those lines that you want to postulate, you're welcome to do so before we maybe crack the code and breach into the tower, or at least learn more clues about it. If you want to take that approach, remember there was a couple others that were put out there that you might be able to use. So there are options for pursuing what you think would work best or more aligned with the materials, resources, or morals that you have. Who needs those?
Wow.
World's way more difficult with those. So yes, then I will ask before we take a break here, because I'm doing the wiggle in my chair dance. Lethality, is Gathering of Nerds doing anything today, this morning?
I believe we are. Let me just check real quick.
Sure.
At the very least, some kind of content.
I don't think it's happening tonight. Probably.
Minecraft was a lot of fun. Y'all were having a great time. I love the flutes on the gnome too, by the way.
I don't know who the gnome is. I think that might be Emma. But no, I just posted it in and asked, "It's like, what do we have planned for tonight?" Because then I'll be able to give a more accurate idea. But something will be going on tonight around 6 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time, so in about an hour. Keep your eyes and ears tuned.
Then what I'll do, I do not have the constitutional fortitude, because I am excruciatingly behind on sleep. So I will
Don't be behind on sleep. It's not good for you.
go sleep, be potat. Well, hey, once I get through this week, I have my summer break, and I promise you all, while I am going to be doing a lot of other things, I will be sleeping, and I will be caring more for myself as I need to.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a thing, y'all. You got to do it. And as much as I'm going to miss your all's faces when I do this from broadcasting, I'll still be around. I can still talk. And at
Are we
least
taking a break from the Tuesday game too for that too?
A part of me says yes. Another part says I really love you all and want to play. So
If not, cool. If so, cool. I'm a game either way.
let me think about it this week, and I will let you all know. Even if it's not for the whole break, because I'm taking about a month off. I might just need to take a couple, like 2 weeks.
Like a week.
A week, 2 weeks to just not go on Twitch, to just kind of, detach and catch my breath, and then
And
come
then
back.
some other 2 weeks for like working on shit.
But I'll let you all know towards the weekend what I'm thinking for this coming Tuesday.
Yep.
And so we'll go forward from there. We'll stay in touch.
All right.
I'll have my people call your people, huh?
We have a whole Discord chat for that.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
And that Discord chat is I mean, you don't have to be PG-13 in that Discord chat, just saying.
Oh yeah. No, well.
We're well aware.
That's good because I'm still rated G.
Yeah. See, so
Evil
we're not
gnome.
forcing PG-13 content. It's
Bride is the most rated D&D character in the world.
I mean,
I love her for it.
yeah, but she's rated G, kind of like how Animaniacs is like appropriate for kids on TV. Like, there's so much other stuff going on, but it's not obvious. So,
Yeah, it's just
You
like,
read between
it's
the
just
lines
like-
to entertain the adults.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, oh yeah, so, dust for fingerprints. I found prints. No, I said fingerprints. I don't think so.
What I'd like to do is last night after Brisbane, I was poking around on Twitch, and I found someone who just started up and actually just got affiliate in the D&D section called the Geeky Game Guru. And I went into his chat and I was asking him questions like, "Hey, when you build a character, like, what's your advice?" I was being a very innocent bean, and his philosophy just resonated with me. And so what
The workshop channel or
yeah,
a playing channel?
Well, he might be playing a video game now, but he was running a workshop. Like, hey, ask me questions on how to build a character or a campaign. He was being very friendly, very cool person. So why don't we go over and raid the Geeky Game Guru together? Give him some Matty Morgs, like, some love and appreciation to someone else who's just starting out, who wants to grow his channel, because he was talking about his, I'd love to do this and to go and to grow from there. So I want y'all to come along with me. I'm going to load him up on my screen here, and we're going to go and have a wonderful raid with the Geeky Game Guru. All right, we're going to do that now. So you all in the audience, I'll see you there. And for the rest of you, my players, we can lean here and talk. Well, after I use the restroom. Let's raid! Ah!
Yes, D&D is fun. Friendship Train. Buddy Owie audiobook. I don't have life.